Hello VC. Well, I'm not going to be talking about the the rapture in this video. I want to say hello to Ron. Hi Ron. Congratulations on your 300 subs. I've subscribed to you now, and I'd like to enter your contest because it sort of inspired me as a Christian to enter it really. And I've even got a coffee to celebrate, which you mentioned in one of your recent videos. Yeah, this is my first of the day, so hope you can hear me okay. I didn't think my microphone was working very well. Hello to everybody else that's watching this. So, without further ado, what else was it I had to do? So I had to subscribe, and then I need to post this in the right place. But the first, there was 3 questions. First one was 3 records that the band names are something to do with the Bible. I think that was it. But yeah, Bible references. Okay, so the first one is a Polish band called, believe it or not, Exodus. And this is our first album called The Most Beautiful Day. It's a 70s sort of prog thing. There you can see the dudes there. So Exodus is the second book of the Pentateuch. Let me just say that again. Hang on. Yeah. That's the Wikipedia woman, I think. Anyway, so that is the of the Hebrew Bible. Yeah. Second book of the Hebrew Bible. Okay, right. Next band, an English band originally from the early 90s. Most famous for their sit down song and people sitting down to it, and then you trip over them. They are called James. This is an album called Laid. So James is possibly, he was the brother of Jesus. He wrote a letter in the New Testament. Some people aren't quite sure that it should be in there, but I suppose that would be the way, because we're a strange bunch, Christians, or people profess to be Christians. He might well just have been a brother in a brotherly sense of the word, though. So that is James. And the last band is, well, I presume it's a band. They were very famous for a hit called Not Over Yet. It was a top 10 dance hit in the UK in the early 90s. Or was it about 95, I think? Yeah, it was 95, I think. And they were called Grace. Sort of a key thing to Christianity. Key concept. And I guess the most famous thing in the Bible that talks about grace is, well, I don't know what it is actually. Hang on. Oh, well, I actually looked up something else completely different. I don't know whether this is known or whatever anyway. So I will read from this, and it's from the Old Testament, from Zechariah, and it's chapter 12, verse 9, 10ish sort of area. So Jerusalem has obviously been it's been destroyed, and then it's restored as part of Judah. And it shall come to pass that in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem, and I will pour upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and of supplications, and they shall look upon me whom they have pierced, and they shall mourn for him as one mourneth for his own son. Right, so that was the 3 bands. 3 album titles now. Okay. Can't do it. Belle Biv DeVoe. Poison. So this is an album. Rap album, dare I say. And my biblical reference for Poison is the controversial bit at the end of Mark, which is not in the earlier manuscripts. And I have to quickly look it up here. Mark. Okay, Mark. End of Mark. Go into all the world and preach good news to all creation. Whoever believes and is baptized will be saved, but whoever does not believe will be condemned. And these signs will be accompany to those who believe in my name. They will drive out demons, they will speak in new tongues, they will pick up snakes with their hands, and when they drink deadly poison, it will not hurt them at all. Okay, I don't know how many of you would know this band, particularly in America. It's a very sort of English sounding band, I suppose, again from the early 90s. And they were called In Spiral Carpet's Life. I tell you, I think Nathan Bouchard showed this album. He found it. I don't remember whether he found it on his visit to London recently, or he found it in States or Canada. So this is Life. So I would definitely say John 10:10, a very famous verse. So I'm not going to read it out. You'll have to look it up for yourself. So this is Life, and it has This Is How It Feels was the big hit on here. And the last album title, a band called Talk Talk, more from the 80s, this band. And this was after they'd had all their hits. They went a little bit different, and this album is called Spirit of Edom. And there is a tree with some things on it, and there's just 6 tracks on it, and this is a really sort of lovely, lushly produced album with the word Edom in it. So that brings me on to the last question. 3 songs that are biblical references, or people. Yeah, these are all people, or what profess to be people, I suppose. So the first one is English band, famous, I suppose, most for Shine On. It's on Fontana in the UK, and it's a lovely butterfly on the cover. I think this was our biggest album. NME, Melody Maker, they all loved them at the time. But it never really caught fire for them, really, I don't think, House of Love. Anyway, there you go. The first track on side 1 is called Hannah, the palindromatic name. I'm sure that's not the Hebrew. Well, it might be. It might be. So if you look into the Old Testament and first book of Samuel, chapter 2, there is Hannah's prayer. Okay, so over to America now. A band who I used to like a lot called Uncle Tupelo, and this is a double album. One I think is a studio album, and the other one is sort of from a concert. And on here, there is a track there. You can't really see it. But Satan, your kingdom must come down. There, and that's a good, catchy song title. I don't know. Maybe its origins are sort of folk something in America, I presume. I don't think it's a him. I'm not sure. So that is that one. And lastly, that's All Over So Soon. Now this guy, this is a compilation on Transatlantic, which is like, or was an English, generally folk label, although they had all sorts of other things that they brought out on it. Maybe you could even compare it to the American label that is it Folkways or something like that. Anyway, it's this guy called Mike Raven who apparently was on the radio, or so my mum told me, in the 60s. This is not his real name though. He was in all sorts of, I think he was dabbled at acting and tried all sorts of things. I'm not sure where he came from. You can Wikipedia him. There he is, looking very deep and intense. So this is what he usually played, sort of like a blues and jazz, I think, on the radio or pirate radio. And there's a track there by the Reverend Gary Davis there. I don't know if you can see that. It's called "Say No to the Devil," and on this track, he it's sort of a bit weird because he says that it's not good to have lots of children, whereas most people, I think, would say that it's a blessing. I don't know the story behind the song. A little commentary that this guy says it's more just sort of like he's not doing much deep analysis of it. He's just saying what it is in a DJ way, I suppose you could say. Anyway, that I guess is my last choice for your competition, Rob. So if you've got this far, thanks for watching, and I will post it now. And yeah, nothing else to say really. God bless you, I suppose. And yeah, that's it really. Cheers. Bye.